The dragon mother's scales were the color of burnt amber, dulled by soot and exhaustion. Her wings drooped to the ground, battered from nights spent hunting scraps in the marketplace. She knelt in the dust, claws trembling, eyes wide and desperate. "I only need my wages," she pleaded, her voice raw. "My children haven't eaten in days. Please, please, I beg you." The crowd of alien merchants and laborers stared, uncomfortable. Some looked away. Some whispered amongst themselves. Most ignored her entirely. In this sector of the city, strength ruled. Mercy was rare. She was no stranger to hardship. As a worker in the mechanized docks, she had spent decades loading and unloading cargo for alien traders, her massive frame bending under weight that would crush a human twice her size. Her wages were always delayed, never enough, but she endured. Until now, her children, 3 hatchlings, still too young to fend for themselves, waited in the cramped apartment above the docks. They huddled together in the cold, gnawing at bits of bread that had long gone stale. She had kept their bellies empty to spare them from her own hunger. "Please," she said again, louder this time, turning to the nearest foreman, a lanky alien with translucent skin stretched over a skeletal frame. "I worked all week. I carried your cargo. My children are starving." The foreman glanced at her with detached amusement. "The wages are delayed. Everyone is short this week. Take what scraps you can, or leave." She shook her head, desperation sharpening her words. "Scraps won't keep them alive. I need what I earned. Just my wages. That is all." The crowd murmured. Someone chuckled. A child clutched a tin can and watched silently. The dragon mother's claws scraped the ground as she backed toward the edge of the market platform. Then, from the edge of the crowd, a figure stepped forward. A human, not a laborer, not a merchant. Someone different, small by alien standards, but tall enough to command presence, with eyes that seemed to pierce through the marketplace's haze. The dragon mother's gaze flicked toward him, suspicion mixed with hope. You cannot help. No human has the power here." The human smiled faintly. He had a calm, almost quiet confidence, the kind that made others notice without needing to shout. "Maybe not, but I know how to make people listen." The foreman sneered. "And who are you to tell me what to do? This is none of your concern, human." "It is when our mother's children are starving," the human said simply. He took a step closer. "She worked for this. She earned her wages. Pay her now." The marketplace froze. Murmurs grew louder. Aliens stopped haggling. Even the guards shifted uneasily. They were used to force, intimidation, the harshness of survival. They were not used to a human speaking with such calm certainty. The dragon mother's eyes filled with cautious hope. You would risk yourself for me." "I would risk nothing," he replied. "I am not asking for a risk. I am asking for fairness. You earned what is yours." The foreman's translucent face twisted in anger. "You will regret this, human. Do you understand the authority you challenge?" The human raised one hand, not in threat, but in gesture. "I understand authority. I also understand what happens when it is abused." He stepped closer. His voice, calm and steady, carried across the platform. "Everyone here sees her. Everyone here knows she worked. And everyone here knows she is right. Pay her wages." A silence fell. The crowd held its breath. The foreman's claws twitched. His pride, his power, felt challenged in a way no one had dared before, and then something shifted. A worker, small and thin, stepped forward from the back of the crowd. She is right. We have all waited for wages longer than we should. She deserves what she earned. Another nodded. If we do not pay her, who will pay us next? The human's gaze swept the crowd. Do not wait for fear. Do not wait for the next injustice. Stand for what is right now. The foreman's jaw clenched. He looked around, his authority cracking. The workers were no longer silent. The market had shifted in an instant, and he knew it. With a harsh hiss, he stomped his claw on the ground. Fine, take your wages. But mark my words, human. This is not over. The dragon mother's chest heaved. Her voice trembled with emotion. Thank you. Thank you. The human inclined his head. Go feed your children. For the first time in days, the dragon mother felt relief. Her children would not go to sleep hungry tonight. She clutched her wages close, tears welling in her eyes. The human gave a small smile before stepping back into the crowd, blending in like a shadow. That night, in her small apartment, the dragon mother prepared a simple meal. Her hatchlings chirped and squeaked in delight as they devoured warm food. She watched them, her heart full. She had faced hardship, prejudice, and hunger, but a human had reminded her that fairness, courage, and integrity could change everything. Days passed. The marketplace adjusted. The foreman sulked, his authority diminished. Workers whispered of the human who had dared to stand up. Some even began to expect fairness, a dangerous notion in a place where strength and fear ruled. The dragon mother did not forget. She remembered the human's calm presence, his unwavering gaze, and the way he had made the impossible seem inevitable. She wondered who he was, why he cared, and where he had come from. But more importantly, she remembered the lesson, even the smallest action. The simplest act of justice could ripple across a world built on cruelty. Weeks later, she returned to the docks. This time, she was not desperate. She carried herself with a quiet strength. Her scales gleamed in the sunlight, her claws steady. Workers greeted her with nods of respect. She had endured, and she had been vindicated, and in the shadows of the marketplace, the human watched. He did not speak, did not intervene. He had done what was needed and vanished, leaving change behind in his wake. The dragon mother fed her children that night again, laughing as they chased crumbs across the floor. She thought of the human and of what he had taught her without saying much at all. That courage is not measured by size, by strength, or by weaponry. It is measured by the willingness to stand up for what is right, even when everyone else turns away. Her hatchlings curled up in her wings, full and warm, and the dragon mother, tired but unbroken, felt hope stir in her chest. She knew now that even in a universe where aliens oppressed one another, and where power often silenced justice, fairness, and courage could prevail, she knew that one being, even a human among dragons, could ignite change. And she knew that she would teach her children the same lesson: never give up, never accept injustice, and always stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. The marketplace continued to buzz with life. The foreman still carried authority, but he carried it differently now, tempered by the knowledge that fairness was not weakness. The dragon mother no longer feared hunger or neglect. She had faced the system, and the system had shifted, if only a little. And somewhere in the crowded alleys of the city, a human walked away, unnoticed, his work done. Asterisk.